Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Don't be fooled by the rocks. Hey y'all, I'm back. Welcome to Ask Jen. Today, this episode is going to be about boundaries. But before I get into the questions that you all send me, y'all know I gotta talk my shit. I have seen so many posts about braids. Girls feeling like they cannot wear braids for their birthday, feeling like braids is not a cute hairstyle. I've even seen some people mention that they are saving a specific outfit for when they don't have braids. First of all, check that anti-blackness at the door. Secondly, braids is probably the most versatile black girl hairstyle. If you feel like you can't wear a certain outfit with braids, it's because you might not be a bad bitch. Braids is a bust down middle part. Braids is a braided ponytail. Braids is a half up, half down. Any hairstyle you can think of, braids can be it. If you need a little help or a little support, I know there's a YouTube tutorial that can help you out to give you the desired style, but saying you cannot wear a certain outfit because you have braids is wrong. Get that thought out your mind. Whenever you see yourself in an outfit and be like, I can't wear this with braids, maybe, I should probably be a better bitch with my braids. Look inward. Talk to y'all soon. So, I took to my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok to fish for questions, which is new, about boundaries. I feel like, especially with the holidays coming around, families getting together, conversations about boundary setting is becoming so important. So, I wanted to put all of y'all on the right foot. So, I asked questions about boundaries, and y'all answered. So, let's get into those questions. The first one. I don't like the way my friend partner talked to her. When I bring it up, she doesn't want to talk. Should I interfere or respect the boundary? So, first of all, as a friend, you are doing your due diligence trying to engage your friend in the conversation about how she wants to be treated. But I also feel like respect the boundary. I feel like if someone does not want you to talk about the flaws of their significant other, they probably know their significant other on bullshit. So, if them being with a significant other that's on bullshit is going to be a hindrance or bother you and your friendship, I would say probably have a conversation with them like, hey, this is bothering me a lot. I know you don't really want to talk about it, but XYZ makes me feel like this. And hopefully they're able to engage in a conversation with and about how they're being treated versus their partner's behavior. But also respect the boundary. I feel like if you can just remind your friend of her worth and how she be treated in other ways aside from telling her that she should limit her relationship with her partner, that would be better and preferred. But long story short, stay out of it. I found out a long time ago when you try to tell people about their partners, they tend not to listen. So unless you feel like you about to save them, sometimes saving your voice is probably the easier headache. Next question. I am a pushover, not because I want to be, but sometimes I feel like it's easier. Should I change? Should I set more boundaries? So, I feel like the first important thing to bring up is, okay, you feel like you're a pushover. Why do you feel like you're a pushover? In what instances that do you feel that your feelings are causing people to push you over or treat you a certain way? The next thing I would explore is some people are just non-confrontational, and that is okay. Is you being a pushover putting you in harm's way? Is it putting you in unsafe situations? Is it keeping you from speaking up in instances where you feel violated or unsafe? If those things do not arise in instances where you feel like you're being a pushover, I don't feel like there's an issue with being someone who's non-confrontational and who doesn't feel the need to speak up about every little thing. I feel like flexibility is good, but don't let somebody push you over. But as long as it's not interfering with your health, your safety, or your well-being, let people do their thing and just wave politely and, hang out in the background. I don't think being a pushover is the worst thing in the world. I feel like it saves a lot of arguments sometimes, but at the same time, this your world. You need to be getting what you want too. So make sure whatever people are pushing you over with, it's not something that you really want or you really desire. Put your desires first for sure. The next question I have, how do I set boundary with my older siblings? I am 31 and they treat me like a baby. I feel like
sometimes there is no way around that. I feel like when you have that baby sibling role in the family, it is really hard to kind of break like them seeing you as a little kid. Even though you 31, you was once a little 2 year old to them, and sometimes they just lean into that and hone into that. I feel like, especially because they're siblings, they've probably been in the same space or something similar where they wanted your parents or maybe another older sibling to see them as an adult as well. I feel like try to relate to them. I think that's the most important part. Try to emulate to them like, hey, I know you was my age once you understood the types of things that you were going through, and you were very much grown, and I am very much grown as well. Treat me as the same type of adult you was. Also, make sure you let them know how much actual grown shit you got going on. Sometimes these your brothers and sisters. It's not your mom and daddy. I got bills. I got a man. I'm sucking. I'm fucking. I'm a grown ass adult. You need to treat me like such. And I feel like sometimes like your siblings are usually more lenient in being able to see you as an adult, like versus your parents. And last but not least, just be real with them. Let them know like, I can handle things. I can do things on my own. I don't need my hand to be held. I don't need to be treated like a baby. As you know, me and my sibling used to fight when we was little. Sometimes you just gotta cut into them. I feel like being treated like a baby in your family is not the worst thing in the world, but when you are trying to assert yourself and set certain boundaries, being seen as an adult is critical. Just make sure you find a way to relate to them and draw that line in the sand. I have pretty good relationships with my siblings, and from my understanding, if they don't mind treating you like a baby at 31, they don't have too bad of a relationship with you either. I think they'll understand. Good luck. The last question I have is, I believe that I have a hard time setting boundaries when dating. I set boundaries in my friendship with absolutely no hesitation. When it comes to men, I am weak. What should I do? Where should I start? Where should you start? Stand up. I feel like, first and foremost, if you have hard boundaries in your relationships with your friends, and those are people who usually have your best interests at heart, who know you best, to be able to flex and bend for a stranger or somebody who you really don't know how far this is going to go, that is crazy to me. I feel like relationships should start as a friendship first. So if you have very hard boundaries in your friendships, start them hard ass boundaries for this stranger that you're trying to get to know. Because one thing we know for sure, when you give a man an inch, he gonna take a mile. So put them boundaries up first. If you don't have no problem asserting boundaries with your friend, you better treat these strangers the same way, because that's exactly what these new relationships are. They are strangers. I feel like, especially because you're getting to know somebody new, don't make the boundaries so hard that you're putting up a wall up for this person to get to know you. Make sure they can't play with you either. If you don't let your friends play with you, don't let this stranger play with you either. So those are all the questions I have. So when we talk about what would Jen do, I feel like boundaries are very important in every single relationship. We talked about families here. We talked about friendships here, as well as relationships. I feel like whatever boundaries that you are asserting, please be sure that you are ready to explain those as well. You cannot ask for somebody what you're not willing to give. So whatever boundaries that you put up, I just feel like the main thing to keep in mind is make sure like this is something that you not asserting with somebody else. Also, make sure that people understand the limitations that you are putting on yourself are to protect yourself for your health, your safety, your well-being, or what have you. Because sometimes people see boundaries and see them as something like hard, you putting a wall up, you not wanting to get to know them. But also explain your trauma, kind of. I hate to people to explain themselves, but explain your trauma and make sure people understand why this boundary is critical for the growth and development of your relationship. And if they a good friend, a good loved one, good family member, they gonna understand. Good luck. So, in this segment of Jen tweeted it, so you don't have to, we're gonna dig back in our bowl of post-it notes. Like I said, these is real words. These are real tweets from my actual page. If you go to my page, you can find these tweets as well. My Twitter page is Jen on the Rocks with an underscore at the end. All these stick together. That's what I get for picking post-it notes. This one is millionaire. Millionaire. That's the word that we have right here. I'm going to go to my actual real phone and look it up. Someone tweeted, "We are all 3 checks away from a crisis, but none of us are 3 checks away from being a multi-millionaire. Capitalism is some bullshit, dog." And it is. I would love to make $1 million in 3 checks. If you know any job offering anything close to $1 million in 3 checks, let me know. I am willing to join the elite organization. That's all my time I have today. Thank y'all so much for watching Ask Jen. You can find more episodes on the Uprising Network YouTube, and I hope to see y'all soon. Bye.